Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Art of Creation Homestead. My name is Jason. We're out here in Southwest Ohio on a unseasonably warm early November day, and we'll talk about gardening today, of all things. First of all, as you can see, the Agribon held up nicely for all the peas. These are Lillian's caseload peas, and they're surviving. They are surviving. We're just using this Agribon right here to cover them. When it gets really cold, we have about 3 nights that was 27 around there, and they held up nicely. They're doing good. Some small peas growing like right here, and we'll see how they go. Obviously, total experiment for us just to see how long they will grow. We love growing peas. We haven't been able to grow them really well here because of the weather gets a little weird, so just kind of hard to get them going right. But we're trying, right? We're trying, and that's not really the point of this. I just kind of want to show you, hey, the Agribon does work. Try it out. But honestly, the point of this video is just talk about, feeding your garden and how to compost in place, essentially. Saturday and Sunday, took my time, cleaned out our chicken coop, did our whole process there, which if you're not aware of what our process is, I'll show you real fast. We use pine shavings that you get at Tractor Supply in those bags, just the flake pine shavings for the bedding in our chicken coop. Layla, escape artist, just darted right out. Come on, Layla. Come here. Say hey to the people, Layla. Good looking chicken, you. And we'll take those shavings and we use them for our bedding in the coop. And the old shavings, so what we do though is we take the old shavings out, put them out in the run. And then the shavings that have been out in the run, after they broke down some more, they go out to composting. So very simply, if you get it, the oldest shavings are out in the run, they go out to compost. The next oldest shavings are in the coop, they come out into the run to finish breaking down some more. And then the freshest shavings go back into the coop. So we take those shavings, this time of year especially, it's important for us to have a lot of them, so we had a lot of bedding to take out. So this time I took that bedding out and I used it for a few purposes. Used it to mulch our raspberry plants, or bushes that we have in these 2 grow bags. And I used it to mulch this garlic that's growing here. As you see, it's popped up. There's probably some more down there. Try not to bury it too deep, but so I used it to mulch some things. That will also compost in place there because it will break down, feed that soil, and feed the plants that are there to keep them healthy and growing. So that's kind of composting in place there, while it's also retaining moisture. It's also kind of keeping the ground a little warmer, the soil a little warmer in those cases since they're in containers. It's doing several things, which is the benefit of having chickens in the way that we have them. But if you see behind me here, one of the biggest things we do with it is we bring it into our in-ground garden space. Now you see there's a lot of leaves down and everything. I brought those in from the yard because these trees right here still have a lot of leaves on them, but they've given us a lot of leaves as well. So I took them, raked them from this area of the yard over, and then raked them from this area and that up there of the yard and down and over into here. If you're not aware, leaves are very good for the soil. It's a brilliant design that God made, is that in the fall, leaves fall, hit the ground, break down, feed the soil. It's a wonderful design, very smart, go figure. So a lot of people mulch them, put them on for their yard and the grass and whatever. That's fine. I can't eat grass. I can eat what I grow in this garden. So we take the leaves best we can, obviously can't get them all, and we put them onto the garden. And then on top of that, I will take these shavings, see, right here, put them on the leaves. That way it helps the leaves break down underneath. This time I took out probably 9 loads and put them in kind of different spots. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 down there. Sorry if there's a little road noise. We live close to it. Not a super busy road, but we're in a neighborhood, so there's people around. So anyways, so we got these spots that we can compost in place. Composting is a big deal, and it's a great way to feed your soil, feed your garden for next year. Do it now. Obviously, weather's going to get cold, and it may not break down as quickly. You can slow compost in place, right where it's at, and it's a lot less effort to having to move it back and forth. you got these spots in place. You take vegetable scraps, throw them out there. See, these are some kale stems from our kale salad, the kale that we grew, and we ate that kale salad last night. Throw it out here, and we can just cover it over. See, very simple idea. Take your vegetable scraps, take organic vegetable scraps, mind you. Please make it organic. The pesticides that could be on the non-organic stuff will harm your compost. Don't I encourage you to not to not try to compost things that are not organic, but yeah, it's up to you. It's gonna hurt your compost. But like, so your vegetable scraps, your you know, things like your dead plants. That's a good one. Your dead plants that are around, your flowers and beans, peas, you know, those types of things, throw them in there. Carrot tops, throw them in there. You know, compost right there where you need it. You need it right there. Let it break down right there. Feed the soil right there. It encourages worm growth right there, so worms will come in, eat on them. Worm castings come from that, right? It's just worm manure, worm poop. And so that'll put all that right there. Better soil, richer soil. It works really good. Something you may not think about is bananas. Like Angela, she eats about one banana, you know, Monday through Friday. Sometimes, maybe not every day, but she'll eat it with some of her homemade yogurt. Here's a leftover organic banana. Stem off. The stem's a little hard to break down. Leftover organic banana. Even if it's just the peels. Even just the peels are great. This is the whole banana. Peels or whole banana, either one. Compost in place. And see, we'll just simply push it in right there. Take this little garden utensil, cover it over. Now I kind of leave it alone. If it's kind of dry like it is right now, I might actually go get the water hose out later and put some water on top of all these piles. Just water is going to help it break down faster. If it's dry, it won't break down that much. It makes sense. Typically in the fall, you're going to get some fall rains, or heading into the winter, may get some snow on it. Give it some moisture, or winter rain, which is possible. This El Nino year we might actually get more rain than snow. But, and again, compost in place. Now for us, there's a few things we can compost. We're gonna have also chicken manure that we have to clean out of the coop. That's gonna come in here and you know, alternate each spot. We're gonna have paper bags. You can compost your paper bags. Our feed bags, our chicken feed bags are meant to compost. They might have a string or a couple of stickers or labels on them. Take that stuff off of there, compost that. All these things are compostable that we can feed our gardens with instead of throwing away, which is great. But also, it's simple. It's you're working on your food on your garden and your food for next year. Now, if you don't have an in-ground garden, what can you do? This spot right here is a small piece of compost that we started, but now we've covered it with our potting soil from last year. That potting soil isn't gone. It's not done for. It's still a mass. It's still volume. It still can go in there. It needs to be re-energized. It's been stripped of its nutrients for the most part from whatever you've grown in it, and it needs some more fertilizer. Which, if you just reuse it, you don't have to fertilize it next year, which is fine. I'll do that. It's okay. But if you put it right there, pile up all your potting soil in a pile, whatever, however much it may be, put it on a pile separate. Compost inside of that. It's very possible. Just take your stuff that you would compost in a compost pile, throw it in the pile of potting soil. It will break down over time, and you will have a composted, enriched potting soil next year that you can use, and maybe a little extra fertilizer, who knows. But either way, you've worked on enriching that soil already by composting in it throughout the winter. So I'll end this by saying, don't waste your scraps, don't waste your trash, don't be short-sighted. Think about next year. Think about what you might need for your garden next year. Think about your garden and needing soil for next year, and hey, needing to enrich that soil. You have things all around you that you can throw in there to compost in. Okay, use it. Take advantage of it. This system was designed for us for a reason. Honestly, it really was. This system was designed this way to benefit us. Imagine that. Somebody thought about us. Somebody thought about us when they were designing this whole thing, and they did so. They did it in a way that would be efficient and sufficient to supply our needs and keep us happy and healthy and living a good life. So do that. Compost your stuff, compost in place, and have a good garden next year, right? So thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. My name is Jason. This is Art of Creation Homestead. We love y'all. God bless you and goodbye.